Welcome to my channel. All right, buckle up because this one is huge. Subaru just pulled the covers off the 2026 Outback, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this might be the biggest glow-up this car has ever had. If you've ever thought of the Outback as the sensible, outdoorsy friend in your group, well, it just came back from the gym, upgraded its wardrobe, and picked up some serious confidence along the way. And yes, there's a reason people are already saying this thing is throwing a warning shot at SUVs everywhere. So let's talk about the first thing everyone notices, the design. The 2026 Outback looks bolder, wider, and way more aggressive than before. It still has that unmistakable Subaru DNA, but now it feels more premium and more planted on the road. The front end is sharper with slimmer headlights and a more muscular grille that gives it real presence. From the side, the lines are cleaner and more sculpted, and out back, the taillights stretch wider, making the whole vehicle look lower and more stable. It honestly feels less like a lifted wagon and more like a proper adventure-ready SUV without losing the Outback identity people love. And here's the wild part. There's a certain smoothness to the way it's styled that almost feels European. I know, Italian supercar feel sounds dramatic, but hear me out. It's not that the Outback suddenly looks like a Lamborghini, obviously, but there's a sense of flow and confidence in the design that Subaru hasn't really nailed like this before. It looks like it was designed to move, even when it's standing still. Now let's get into what's under the hood, because this is where things get really interesting. The 2026 Outback finally leans hard into hybrid power. Subaru knows where the market is going, and they didn't want to be late to the party. The new hybrid setup is all about smoother power, better fuel efficiency, and quieter driving, especially around town. You get instant response when you press the pedal, and on the highway, it just glides. It still feels like a Subaru, confident and sure-footed, but now it's more refined and more efficient than ever. And don't worry, this isn't Subaru going soft. The Outback still feels capable, still feels rugged, and still feels ready for adventure. The hybrid system actually makes it better in some ways, especially when you're crawling over rough terrain or dealing with slippery conditions. Power delivery is smoother, which means more control when it matters most. Speaking of adventure, yes, the off-road chops are very much alive and well. This is still an Outback at heart. You've got standard all-wheel drive, improved ground clearance on certain trims, and smarter traction systems that adapt faster to changing surfaces. Whether you're dealing with snow, mud, gravel, or a sketchy mountain trail, the Outback 2026 feels like it's got your back. Subaru didn't turn this into a soft city cruiser, they just made it more versatile. Now let's step inside, because the interior might be one of the biggest upgrades of all. The cabin feels more modern, more comfortable, and way more premium than before. Materials are softer, the layout is cleaner, and everything feels like it was designed with real people in mind. The seats are more supportive for long drives, and there's more attention to little details that make daily driving nicer. The infotainment setup is bigger, brighter, and way easier to use. No more fighting with menus just to change a setting. Everything feels intuitive, and yes, your phone connects seamlessly. The digital displays are clear without being overwhelming, and Subaru finally nailed that balance between tech and simplicity. It feels modern without feeling like a spaceship. Space is still one of Subaru's secret weapons. There's plenty of room for passengers, tons of cargo space in the back, and it's still one of the easiest vehicles to live with if you've got an active lifestyle. Bikes, camping gear, groceries, road trip luggage, it just swallows everything without complaint. Now let's talk about pricing, because this is where Subaru really throws down the gauntlet. Early expectations point to a starting price that stays very competitive, especially when you consider all the upgrades. You're getting hybrid tech, a refreshed design, a much nicer interior, and legendary all-wheel drive without jumping into luxury brand territory. That's kind of Subaru's superpower. You get a lot of value without the luxury tax. When you compare the 2026 Outback to past models, the difference is night and day. Older Outbacks were practical, reliable, and capable, but they were never really emotional. This one? This one has personality. It feels like Subaru finally said, let's make something that's not just smart, but exciting. It's more confident, more stylish, and more in tune with what modern drivers want. And that's why SUVs should be paying attention. The 2026 Outback sits in this perfect middle ground. It's not a bulky, fuel-hungry SUV, and it's not a low, fragile car either. It's efficient, capable, comfortable, and now genuinely cool. For a lot of buyers, this could be the vehicle that makes them rethink what they actually need.